From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Wednesday, September the 13th, 2017. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu left Argentina today for Colombia, part of his historic visit to Latin America. Before taking off, Netanyahu spoke of the visit in Buenos Aires and the upcoming stops in Bogota and Mexico, saying that Israel was on the map. As we reported to you, Netanyahu met with Argentine President Mauricio Macri yesterday, where he was presented with tens of thousands of documents relating to the Holocaust, some of them relating to Nazi war criminals. Macri said yesterday, "I gave to the Prime Minister an historic Argentinian documentation digitalized about the Holocaust for the use of the State of Israel to investigate and spread the information," adding, "This is very important for us." Netanyahu also met yesterday with the president of Paraguay, who traveled to the neighboring country to meet with the Israeli leaders. Netanyahu will arrive in New York next week to address the United Nations General Assembly. And presiding over that UN session will be, for the first time, Israel's ambassador to the world body, Dani Danon, who began serving as vice president of the General Assembly today. Danon said, "I am proud to represent Israel in this important role that reinforces our position as an equal partner at the UN," adding, "We have proven once again that there is no role we cannot fulfill in the world's most important international organization." And staying with the UN, the Times of Israel reports that Palestinians today dropped their request to become a member state in the UN's World Tourism Organization. A vote on the matter was supposed to take place today, and Israel's foreign ministry said that because of pressure from Israel, the request was withdrawn and is now postponed for the next plenary session of the organization, which is in 2 years. The significance of the vote is that if passed, the UNTWC would have become the second UN body, the first being UNESCO in 2011, to grant the Palestinians the same status as fully recognized states. Israel views these bids as attempts to politicize the UN and use them as a tool to harm Israel. There was also pressure from the U.S., including from Jewish organizations like B'nai B'rith International, who said only when the Palestinians finally accept the legitimacy of Israel's existence as a democratic Jewish state and agree to genuinely live alongside it in peace can they enjoy the benefits of responsible membership in the international community. A Palestinian man tried to carry out a stabbing attack today in the West Bank. The incident took place at the entrance to the Jewish settlement of Kiryat Arba, where the IDF said the man ran towards a bus stop at the Elias Junction with a knife. IDF soldiers who saw the man shot and wounded him. He was taken to a nearby hospital for treatment in serious condition. The Jewish community of Gothenburg, Sweden, is appealing a decision to allow a neo-Nazi march to take place near the city's main synagogue on Yom Kippur. Community leaders said they will appeal a police decision last week that would allow the Nordic resistance movement to march during the Gothenburg Book Fair, which passes about 200 yards near the Gothenburg Synagogue on the Jewish Day of Atonement on September the 30th. Israel marked the anniversary of the September 11th terror attacks on the United States. The annual ceremony was held at Israel's 9/11 Memorial on Monday, which was built by Keren Kayemet LeYisrael, the Jewish National Fund, and sits just outside Jerusalem. U.S. Ambassador to Israel David Friedman addressed the crowd, where he noted that Israel was the only country outside of the U.S. that had built a 9/11 memorial that contains all of the names of those murdered on that day. Among the Israeli officials in attendance, opposition leader Isaac Herzog, who said that the attacks of 9/11 were not only an attack on the U.S., they were an attack on the values of democracy, freedom, and equality. Herzog said that Israel was bound together with the U.S. by a shared commitment to those values. The ceremony Monday was also attended by leaders of the Anti-Defamation League, Nefesh Ben Nefesh, and Stand With Us, as well as members of a program for combat veterans from both Israel and the U.S. called Heroes to Heroes, and delegations of U.S. police officers, firefighters, and pilots currently visiting the country. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Wednesday, September the 13th. At 7 o'clock, Max Ettingen tells his story of surviving the Holocaust in the JBS original series Witness. At 7:30, Yossi Klein Halevi leads a discussion with Oded Ravivi, who is the mayor of the West Bank city of Efrat, and others on the settler movement from the Shalom Hartman Institute in Jerusalem. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with real estate developer and film producer Charles Cohen, who talks about his involvement in Jewish life and his new film Red Trees, which premieres this Friday in New York and LA. That's on tonight's L'chaim. At 10, remarks from Israeli leaders at the Jerusalem Post conference, and coming up right after this newscast tonight, it's Thinking Out Loud with Micah Halpern. And that's the JBS News Update for Wednesday, September the 13th, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.